Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I've had you on here a couple times, and we've talked about a lot of community stuff, a lot of dream catchers, a lot of events. You're deep in the community, and I know you love children, so it's an honor to have you here. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Mariela, and I'm an art teacher and a school teacher. And like you were saying, most of my job is with the kids in the community. But on the side, I have been building this other business that is Art Kids Club.
Okay, so what's Art Kids Club?
It is a safe space for kids to have fun, to be and enjoy art. I do different art class around the community in many different ways.
Okay.
I have private classes with different families, and I also now doing art classes at Clay. That's happening on Wednesday at 3:30, and also at Sendero Saturdays at 2 p.m.
Nice. Nice, and you've done some stuff over at El Campo too?
Yes, I did at Campo. We have a workshop for adults. So it was really interested, adults need art too.
So you can go to individual houses, or people need to come to your location?
No, I can go to individual houses, and actually I have done that in the past, that I go and do a class for a whole family, or I only do a class for the kids, or only a class for adults. So it's really versatile.
Okay, so you're all over. You can do whatever.
Yes. And I also have branch of this big Art Kids Club that I imagine. There is a mobile daycare. So I'm taking my mobile daycare to different parties and events. Let's say you're gonna have a party for your company and there's kids involved. So I get to the place and I set up an area for the kids with different activities, face painting, art, of course, and movement and games. So I'm doing that already. I have like some parties around town, but
that's pretty cool. What about for even just vacation renters who have their families and a bunch of kids and they want to give them some activities? Could you go to some of those homes?
Yes, of course. And if they made a group together, I will go and set up the activities for them. And it's not just about like keeping entertainment, keeping safe. It is to have them a good experience and something that it will grow in them, like that little flame of creativity and art and also empathy. It's a lot of things that you can work through art.
That's awesome. Okay, got it. So your services are available for vacation renters, all the way to company owners, all the way to what would be ideal is someone listening to this has a location that they like the idea of this and they could provide that.
Yes.
Did I get it?
Yes, you get it.
That's awesome.
Normally I go to other places and there's limitations and maybe you cannot make a big mess, you cannot have the full experience of art, and I want to create a safe space for the kids to be.
So what does that look
play.
like?
I imagine like a kind of a daycare with an art center.
Okay.
So imagine that you enter a place and there's gonna be like a soft classroom, like Waldorf education classroom that is like free game, then movement game, and then the art station. So it will be a whole concept. And people can just drop in, you don't have to have a commitment for the whole month if you don't want to, because I want to be flexible on that. But I imagine the kids to have the opportunities that we can work all kinds of materials, they can get crazy and explore, and that's a whole different experience what they have right now that is a little bit more compressed.
Yeah, you're compressed off of, it sounds like not just space, but also time. And what you want to do is create a facility that's not just Art Kids Club, but almost like an Art Kids School Club, kind of where they can be themselves and really fall into it, and you have time to really work with them. Is that kind of what's happening?
Yeah, that's correct. And also I think, I not only have passion for what I do, I have a background of education. I really love to study what I do. And so the things, the elements that will be in the place, the materials that we will use, and the way that I imagine the classes for the kids, it has to be all with my knowledge as a teacher. Mm-hmm. I have a really commitment with that, to have like healthy stimulation for kids. That's what I think is important. As a Waldorf teacher, I realized the importance of free game, but to have a healthy free game, you need to have a healthy space with different elements that allow the kids and the teenagers and even adults to just be there. Be there. They can explore if they want the elements that are in the place, but it's a healthy and secure place. That's
Like-
what I imagine.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like every ethnicity, socioeconomic background, everything. Like a Spanish speaker feels fine, an English speaker feels fine. Like it's a happy place to be.
Yeah, it's really different. Like normally I can see how people, I love different activities that you can have here with the kids, but it's also good for the kids to be bored. It's super important for creativity for them to be bored, and then they have a space where they can explore. From the inside come the creativity, and from the inside come the ideas, not from outside stimulation, not from seeing a video of how to doing this. So I imagine that place, and I know it's out there. Who knows? Like I imagine a place where all this is happening, but then you can offer talks once in a while about art and about emotions and about mental health through art and all that kind of important things that we're missing.
Nice. How do people learn about this before we go further? Is it a website, social media, like how?
Yeah, I have an Instagram that you can follow us. Is art.kids club.
Okay.
And then I have a website, and that it covers like all the services, not only the Art Kids Club, and is marielamatthewart.com.
You've always been like very driven to get to this stuff. Like what caused that, if I'm allowed to ask?
Yeah, no, growing up, I didn't have all the right tools that I think a kids need to have for them to grow in the best way. So I want the kids to have what I didn't have in the beginning.
When did you know you didn't have it? Like were you an adult later on and you look back, or the whole time growing up you're like, I want to do art but I can't?
I think I didn't realize at that time, but maybe when I was in my teenagers, I started realizing that I have all these talents and creativity, and I didn't have the opportunity to actually explore them more until I grow up.
All right, so adolescence is when you realized, and that probably made you want it more.
Yes.
I
And
gotcha.
also, time ago, I learned how kids save me. I was working, when I was a teenager, I was working as a babysitter, and they saved me from my depression and my anxiety. They helped me to be more in the present, to admire every time, everywhere, to have this connection with my surrender. So I think kids are really good doing that.
Why would a kid want to do art when they have phones that they scroll and computers that they just scroll? Like what causes art? Because for me, anything that creates takes effort. It takes time. Like there's something that has to get you there. It's very hard to tell a kid, do that, and then they just enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important to have a space. Like, if you study the development of the kid in the brain, it's super different what is happening if they get the stimulation from the outside, like a screen, or the stimulation from the inside. At the end, you're working your, I don't know how to say this in English, fuerza de voluntad.
Voluntary force.
Yes, and everybody needed, at the end when you're a grown-up, you needed to go to work, you need to pursue your dreams, you needed to, everything you needed. So when you're a kid, everything that you're doing from the inside is reinforcing that. So let's say that if they have an open space where they can explore with clay, they can explore with painting, everything that they're doing with their hands and their motora fina and motora gruesa, there is working already that inside them.
It's very hard to get anyone, kid or adult, to do something unless they want to. And a lot of time with kids, it means they're bored or they don't have other things to do. And around here, we've been forever without things to do until the skate park just got here.
Yeah.
I think that's what causes a lot of our problems with drugs, alcohol, and people getting into things, just because there was just surf in the morning and at sunset, and that was kind of it.
Exactly. There's not too many places for them to explore other things, and it's not about keeping them doing stuff. It's the opposite. It's like let them get bored, but then they have to be able to have the tools right away. If I'm bored, but there's something, maybe I can explore that blocks, I can explore that painting, or I'm gonna play with that clay to see what happen, because I don't have any other thing to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty old, so that was my childhood. I'd go somewhere with my parents or wherever. There was nothing to do. Like, you learned to find things to do, even if it was a stick and a rock. I guess I didn't like it at the time, but I didn't know any different. And now, as approaching 50 years old, I look at it's very hard for children and teenagers coming up now who always have something to do. We're not supposed to be wired like that, I don't think. No. Why would you take on initiative and do hard things if life's so much easier just not doing that? Like, you must be challenged as a teacher if you only have a couple days or that day.
Yeah, that's why I have all these kind of services that we're talking about. It's not just Art Kids Club, it's like my art in general. It's art for everyone. So I have the art classes for kids that is happening now at Clay and at Sendero.
Shout out to Clay and Sendero.
Yeah, and they offer like great facilities. I love to work there. Now I also offering workshop for adults that it has to be more about art therapy exercise.
Okay, and what's art therapy exercise?
It's some practices that you can have in your daily basis.
So it's not like me painting a picture of a bird or something where you're like, okay, today we're gonna draw a duck.
No, like it's not individual classes to learn how to draw or learn how to paint. It's more to learn how to experience your emotions through art.
Now, why would a busy adult stop or interrupt their day to do that?
Because you need to be joyful and to play more in order to be happy in your other areas. And also it's like, creativity and art give you a lot of flexibility thought, and you need that capacity even if you're being have a big company. You need to have flexibility of thought to resolve different problems. You know what I mean? So at the end, it's something that you carry in any other business or areas in your life.
You really believe that?
Yes, I really believe that. I really enjoy what I do, and I really believe that art is a great tool to change the world. Not only the exterior world, but the inner world. I just want to invite everyone to come to the art classes. Contact me for any experience of art that you want to do in town. I'm here.
Right on.
Yeah.
So right now, it sounds like you have momentum and this is happening, especially if Sendero and Clay and all these and Campo have you. So apparently people are into it, but it's hard for you to be everywhere at once.
Bueno, my idea of the future is that I really want to have a permanent space to be an art kids club. So it will be amazing to be offering all these services in a place that is actually only made for doing art. Sometimes when I work in hotels, there's some limitations. You cannot do too many mess around.
Well, and it's also time, space. That'll make sense.
Exactly.
So do you have this space you're talking about?
No, I am hoping that someone hears and I can find someone that can have the space. I already have all the project, all the ideas, all the...
So you need a partner.
I need a partner.
Okay, now I get it. All right, this makes sense. All right, so you have the education systems and the know-how. You'll do everything. You need a location that people can come to.
Exactly.
I got it, and they can make a big old mess and have a bunch of fun.
That's the idea.
How much space do you need to operate and to get this going?
Bueno, I don't need too much. I need something functional, maybe a size like a big classroom or an art studio, and we will have different areas so I can make it work. And it's something that is already built because we want to start as soon as possible. I'm ready.
So you're ready. You have the systems, everything. You just need some space.
Yes.
And not even that much.
Not even that much, because also the idea is like you can work it, even different spaces, you can make it work.
I gotcha. Okay, so if somebody's out there who wants to support this initiative, classroom style space to where you can fit it, and you're ready to go now.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
We will do a nice art kids club in town.
All right, so for Nosara as a whole, I think we know most of your likes, and I know your heart for service. What are your dislikes about Nosara?
Well, that's a hard one. I don't like people with unconscious, like lack of conscious make me sad and mad at the same time. Because at the end, the problem is not if you have more or I have less. The problem is how you don't have a conscience to share it or to actually care about what is happening with the local community.
So what would you like to see different?
I would like to see more people coming here to heal and to do their process, but getting involved with the community. Like actually learn Spanish first, please, and then be in touch with the schools. They need a lot of support. Yeah, just really care about the community. The community is not only Guiones. We have a lot of towns around here. We have 7 public schools. So I want more people involved. Maybe I think also like a big responsibility is the people that already have business, hotels, and rental house already here. Because then when people are visiting, they can inform them. Or they can say, if you're staying in this hotel, then you can donate to this organization. Or if you are buying this land, part of this business is going to go to this nonprofit organization. So that's also some way that you can do a bridge. Volunteer for something if you have the time, and of course come to my classes and help other ticos around with their business is also a good way to get involved.
Thank you for what you're doing, and thanks for sharing it on here. Hey, I got to find out real quick, what are your 3 favorite restaurants in Nosara? What do you like to get there?
Okay, La Barra is one of my favorite ones and has good prices. Mala Crianza in Garza is another one that is pretty good one.
What do you like there?
The environment, the food is pretty good. Like,
what's your favorite food?
Oh, pizza, ceviche, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like it. Yes, I think those 2 are my favorite ones.
Okay, squeeze one more in for 3.
Maybe if I want to eat a good piece of meat, I will go to La Brasa for a treat. Yes.
Thank you for coming on and sharing this. I learned a lot, and I hope other people do too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rich.